Hello, sixth graders. It's me, Mrs. James, here to read a little bit of WISHTREE to you all. I know I'm missing the cover, but I'm here to read WISHTREE. We haven't read it for a few weeks. We've been really busy learning about plot and all these really cool things, but we've got to get back to our book. If you could turn to page 104 in your book, and it's actually chapter 25. Now, the truth is, it is page 105. But if I just said to you, sixth graders, turn to page 105, you know what you would say? There is no page 105. So turn to page 104 and then look at the next page. Let's do that. Chapter 25 of WISHTREE. You might think as I start reading, I already read this, but guess what? We haven't read it for about a week or so, and we need to remember a few things, and we need to all get on the same page. So chapter 25, we'll read a few chapters right now, and then I gotta go to a meeting. Here it goes. Here's Bongo. And action, Bongo whispered. Little Flash waddled out to the middle of the lawn. Remember who Little Flash is? The possum who's afraid of flashlights. Little Flash waddled out to the middle of the lawn. I hope you all remember the plan. He lay down on his side and curled up. He closed his eyes. He drew back his lips, revealing tiny needle-sharp teeth. Perfect, Bongo said. Try foaming at the mouth, dear, Harry Spiders called. Remember, Harry Spiders is Little Flash's mother. They're all named after things they're afraid of. So Little Flash is named after flashlights because Little Flash is scared of flashlights. And Little Flash's mother is afraid of Harry Spiders. Hey, me too. And so she's named after Harry Spiders. Look at the picture of Little Flash laying there acting like it's just destroyed. All right, down the street, we could see Stephen approaching. Luckily, Samar was just a few yards behind him. Flash leapt up. How am I doing, Ma? Wonderfully, my baby. Bye, Emma, said Harry Spiders. Mommy's so proud of her little bitty possum. Be dead, Bongo cried. Oh, yeah, Flash shrugged. I kind of forgot, Aunt Bongo. I'm not your aunt, Bongo said. Not even a member of your species. Well, that doesn't really matter, I chided. Be dead, Bongo cried again. Flash hiccuped. Oh my, said Harry Spiders. He does that when he's nervous. How come I can't be dead, Mom? Asked Rose Petal. Remember, Rose Petal is a skunk. And we know that skunks are named after yummy and delicious and wonderful smells. That's why this skunk's name is Rose Petal. Newbies, quiet, Bongo commanded. Flash, stop hiccuping, dude. Here they come, I whispered. Stephen and Samar. The hiccups got louder. Flashlight, Bongo said. Now! Don't call him that, his mother cried. Flashlight froze. He stopped hiccuping. Foam dripped from his mouth. His half-open eyes were glazed and unseeing. The works, Bongo whispered. Brilliant. Bongo thinks that Little Flash is just putting on a show, but actually Little Flash is terrified because Bongo just said, flashlight. Remember, they don't use that word around Little Flash. Stephen found Flash first. Samar was close behind. What should we do? Stephen asked. Success, I thought. They were actually talking to each other. Don't touch it, said Samar. It might be rabied, or it could just be playing dead. I read that possums will do that. I'll go get my mom. Maybe she can call someone. Sounds good, said Samar. To my disappointment, Stephen and Samar nodded at each other promptly, went to their separate houses. And once again, that was that. All that work for just a few moments of conversation? How exactly did people make friends? How hard could it be? Still, I reminded myself, Stephen and Samar had spoken to each other, and that was a good first step, wasn't it? Flash, Bongo called. Time to go back to your den, buddy, before they come back. Flash remained frozen in a little possum ball. Flash, I called. Flash, baby! Harry Spiders yelled. Oh my, said Big U. I don't think your baby's acting. My baby! My precious Flash! Cried Harry Spiders, and Flash's brothers and sisters began to wail. You really should have used one of my U's, Big U said. Flash, stop being dead, Bongo yelled. She hopped over to Flash and gently poked him with her beak. How dare you peck my son? Harry Spiders yelled. Flash, I'll save you, baby. Top of page 110. Harry Spiders dashed out of her hollow, scrambled down my trunk, and promptly fainted. Oh, great, said Bongo. Just fantastic. Like mother, like son. What now, wise old tree? You grab Flash, I instructed. Fresh baked bread and Big U, can you rescue Harry Spiders? Pull her over to Fresh's den under the porch. Harry Spiders called my children boisterous, Big U said. Big U said my children stink, Fresh Baked Bread said. Over 2 centuries of life, and I hardly ever raised my voice. This was one of those times. Now, I commanded, just as the door to Stephen's house opened. You'd be surprised how fast raccoons and skunks can be when they're motivated. Chapter 26. Stephen and his mother eventually gave up trying to find the mysterious baby possum. Samar watched them from her living room window, but she didn't venture out. After about an hour, Harry Spiders and Flashlight woke up and returned on wobbly legs to their den. And that was that. Again. Don't worry, I told Bongo. 3rd time's a charm. Now it's time for the 3rd plan. What's that supposed to mean? It's just something people say. Charm, Bongo sneered. Did you know that's what people call a bunch of hummingbirds? No, actually. Hummingbirds, which, let's face it, are pretty much overdressed flies. But a bunch of us crows together, guess what we get to be called? What? A murder. A murder. A murder of crows. Can you believe it? A bunch of trees, you're a grove. A bunch of raccoons, a gaze. Bongo flapped her wings. But crows, we're a murder. Are you quite finished? I asked. Sorry, I'm worried about you, and I get grumpy when I'm worried. Bongo plucked out a piece of new grass and tossed it aside. I have one more plan to get Samar and Stephen talking, I said. How about a plan to not get you turned into a picnic table? I can't control everything in life, Bongo, I said gently. And if I could, what fun would that be? But this little thing, this wish of Samar's, I can make it happen. I hesitated. At least I think I can. I don't understand why this matters so much to you. She reminds me of a little girl I knew a long time ago. You're a Batinsky, said Bongo wearily, but I love you anyway. She looked at me with something like the crow version of a smile, beak open, head cocked, eyes gleaming. So what is plan number 3? Hello, Emma. All right. Oh my gosh. Neither of these have pages. We're at chapter 27. Now, if I told you to go to chapter 27 and look at page 115, you would say, there is no page 115. But then if I said, well, go to page 114 and look to the next page, which is chapter 27 and page 115, guess what you'd say? There is no page 114. Anyway, let's go to chapter 7. Maybe you go to page 116 and go back a page. I don't know. All right. Yes, Emma?
I need it.
Chapter 27. One night had fallen. Once night had fallen, I sent Bongo on her next mission. All you have to do is untie Samar's wish, I instructed. Oh, she said, is that all? Bongo flew to the low branch where Samar had tied her pink dotted fabric scrap. She yanked on it with her beak several times. Easier said than done, she reported. You're a crow. Use a tool. Crows are well known for making and using tools. You might want to remember that. They're probably the brainiest birds around. Bongo poked and considered. I have a paper clip in my collection. I'll give that a shot. It'll never work, Agnes predicted from her nest. I think owls, remember Agnes is an owl, I think owls are secretly a bit jealous of crows. One by one, heads poked out of my hollows, as well as the skunk den under the porch to watch Bongo at work. What's Bongo doing, Ma? Asked one of the ewes. It's called tool use, said Big Ewe. No big deal. Thank you. I think someone said bless you. Thank you. Folks, if you can't say something helpful, I said, please don't say anything at all. Emma's back. Hold on. Where was I? Oh, folks, if you can't say something helpful, I said, please don't say anything at all. Bongo returned with a small piece of twisted metal. Straightened paperclip, she explained, found it on the school playground. Who left that paperclip on the playground? Was that you, Matthew? Who probably left it out there? I think it was Matthew. With great effort, she managed to slide the straight end of the paperclip into the knot. But try as she might, she couldn't pull the knot free. Almost got it, Bongo muttered between her clenched beak. Why is Bongo doing that? Harold asked Agnes. There's no explaining crows, Agnes said. Because I asked her to, I said. Because it's important to me. With a frustrated groan, Bongo let the paperclip fall to the ground. It's no use, Red, she said. Maybe it's time to give up on this idea, I said with a sigh. I'm not meant to help. I'm meant to sit here, just sit. A gentle wind rippled my leaves. No one spoke. Wait just a minute, said Big U. Maybe I can lend you a paw. You're awfully heavy for that branch, Agnes pointed out. Let her try, I said. Carefully, Yu inched her way out onto the limb where Samar's wish was tied. She was indeed heavy, and my branch bowed under her weight, but I held firm. She toyed with the knot using both front paws. Before long, she pulled the strip free. Ta-da! She cried, clutching the fabric in her right paw. Well, I did the hard part, Bongo sulked. It was a joint effort, I said. Teamwork, and much appreciated, both of you. You have the wish, said Agnes. Now what, Red? Now we wait until Samar comes to visit, I said. And then Bongo works her magic. All right, 6th grade, one last chapter. We're going to read page 28. And it's on page 119. So why don't you just look at page 118 and go to page 119? Because if I said, turn to page 119, you would say, there is no page 119. The moon bathed, chapter 28, the moon bathed us. Oh, hi. Hello, dear. Was somebody just barking out there?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. The moon bathed us all in cool blue light as we awaited Samar's nightly visit. She came out in her robe and slippers. Sitting on her blanket, she waited patiently as the babies scrambled over to see her. Around her neck, she was wearing the beribboned key that Bongo had given her. Where's my crow friend? She whispered, as the ewes somersaulted in front of her. Remember, the ewes are raccoons. She looked